My name is Lydia. I still remember the humiliation I endured at my sister's wedding. The groom's father sneered at me, "Your presence is ruining the mood of this event. Please leave." I had journeyed a long way to be here, only to discover I wasn't even welcome. His words cut deep, like a sharp blade slicing through my heart. As I stepped outside and called my husband, Mark, his voice was filled with concern. "What's happening? Why are you there?" I simply replied, "I was asked to leave, so I did." I didn't want to go into details then. Let me take you back to the beginning. I grew up in a small town. My parents were quite different. My father was a dreamer, always chasing after big ideas but never really achieving much. He left when I was 15, leaving my mother, a strong-willed and hard-working woman, to raise me and my younger sister, Ava, who is 8 years younger than me. My mother worked 2 jobs to make ends meet. I took on the responsibility of taking care of Ava. We managed through middle school, but high school was a different story. The stress and long hours took a toll on my mother, and she passed away. Ava and I were left alone. Ava looked at me with fear in her eyes and asked, "What are we going to do now, sis?" I reassured her, "Don't worry. I'll figure it out." Even though I was just a teenager myself, I knew I had to be strong for her. I got a job as a receptionist at a local law firm. The pay was meager, but it was a start. Over time, I proved myself and took on more tasks. The boss, Mr. Thompson, was a kind-hearted man. One day, he said to me, "Lydia, would you like to earn a paralegal qualification?" I was taken aback. "A qualification?" I asked. He explained, "Yes, it's specialized, and we need someone with these skills. I think you're capable." I was worried about the time and cost, but he added, "Don't worry. We'll cover all expenses. I'm asking as a favor." His sincerity was hard to resist, especially when I thought about Ava's future. As Ava got closer to high school graduation, she started thinking about working. I encouraged her to go to college, but saving for tuition on my salary was an uphill battle. I considered changing jobs. When I talked to Mr. Thompson, he understood. "I completely understand," he said. "Actually, I know someone who's starting a new tech company, and they're looking for someone like you." I was skeptical at first, but he assured me, "It's being run by a capable person, and the business is already showing promise." With a bittersweet feeling, I left the law firm. Mr. Thompson said, "I've been thinking of retiring soon anyway. You've done more than enough here." His kind words made me tear up. He softly said, "Don't cry. If I make a young woman cry, my wife will scold me. It's better if you smile." I joined the new company. My new boss was Mark, a 35-year-old with a visionary mind. He introduced himself, "Nice to meet you." "I'm Mark." I replied, "Nice to meet you." "I'm Lydia." He warmly said, "We really needed someone like you. You've already been a huge help. If you could handle things at your last job, you'll thrive here." I was a mix of nervousness and excitement. Mark's company was a fast-growing startup. He was the driving force behind its success. Despite being new, it was already winning big contracts. Mark often told me, "I'm really glad to have you here, Lydia. Your expertise is invaluable, and I'm happy I invested in your training." His words lifted my spirits, and I no longer worried as much about Ava's tuition. Ava noticed the change in me. One morning, she said, "You seem so much more upbeat lately." I laughed and said, "Really?" Mark's leadership was evident as the business continued to grow, and I found myself training new employees. Mark suggested, "How about a trip sometime?" I was hesitant. "A trip? But my schedule." He said, "I'll take care of everything. You've earned a break." I still thought it was a luxury, but he insisted, "Let's relax a bit. You deserve it." As a key member of the team, I spent a lot of time with Mark. Our relationship deepened. Despite the 12-year age gap, I didn't mind. But I had a concern. Could we wait to marry? One evening, while working late in the office, I decided to speak my mind. Mark, I do want to marry you. You're amazing, and I love you, but I still have Ava to look after. Once she's on her own, I can think about it. Can we wait until then? I was afraid it was a selfish request. Mark, already in his mid-30s, might have been ready for marriage. But he said without hesitation, of course. I'll wait until she finishes school. But when that time comes, let's have dinner with your sister. She'll be part of our family, too. I was deeply moved by his understanding. After that, the three of us spent more time together. As Mark's company stabilized and Ava neared graduation, we took a trip together. It was an unforgettable experience. But all good things must come to an end. Ava went off to college, and Mark and I returned to work. She still lived with me as her university was nearby, but I knew our time together would be less. One day, Ava came to me with bright eyes and said, "Sis, guess what?" I asked, "What is it?" She casually said, "I'm getting married after college." I was stunned. Married? Wait, what? I couldn't believe my ears. She explained, "Remember the business seminar? I met a guy there. He's planning to start his own company, and he's a great guy. So, I thought, why not marry him?" I tried to reason with her, marriage isn't something you jump into. It's a major commitment. She looked at me seriously and asked, "What about Mark's feelings?" I replied, "I promised I'd look out for you until you graduate." She said, "You think I can't handle things on my own? I've got a plan for my future, and I've met a great guy. It's time you focus on your own happiness." Her eyes were tearing up. She also added, "Unless you get married first, it's going to be awkward for me." I muttered, "I guess so." Mark and I got married, and the whole company celebrated. Even Mr. Thompson showed up to congratulate us. But then came the task of meeting Ava's fiancé's family. Her fiancé, Ethan, was the eldest son of a wealthy business owner. He seemed like a solid guy. He told me, "The family business will go to my brother. I'm planning to start a new one with Ava." I was excited as I had always dreamed of starting a business. He said, "That's how we met. We've already incorporated. Student entrepreneurship is becoming more common." After our initial meeting, I still had to meet the rest of Ethan's family. I was a bit nervous, especially since they were business owners. Strangely, they asked me to come alone. When I arrived, Ethan's father greeted me. "Lydia, I suppose you're here to talk about your sister's marriage to Ethan." I replied, "That's right." But then he said harshly, "Actually, that's not why we invited you. We're telling you to stay out of this." I was shocked. "What do you mean?" I asked. He said, "You didn't go to college. You lost your parents. While Ava seems capable, you clearly don't. Don't expect any help from us." I snapped, "I don't need your help. I've supported myself and I have a future planned with Mark. Whether or not I retire later is none of your concern." He sneered, "Words are cheap. We'll invite you to the wedding, but after that, keep your distance. The people there are far above your station. It would be embarrassing for you to show up." Their mocking laughter was like a punch in the gut. I held back my tears and said, "I'm not missing my sister's wedding." I rushed home, crying. I washed my face again and again, but the pain remained. Looking at my red, swollen eyes in the mirror, I whispered, "I'll never let them see me like this again." The big day arrived, Ava's graduation and wedding. She teased me, "You better come to my wedding, sis." I replied, I wouldn't miss it for the world. But I was uneasy about facing Ethan's family again. The wedding venue was grand. The guests were dressed in elegant outfits, exuding wealth and status. I felt like an outsider, but I kept my composure. At the entrance, I showed my invitation, and a staff member led me to a private room. As soon as the door opened, I was greeted with mocking voices. Ethan's younger brother, Lucas, sneered, "So, you really showed up? You have no idea about social cues, do you? You're ruining the prestige of this place by being here." His father added, "We invited you, but we expected you to know better. Get the security to remove her." The insults kept coming. I stayed silent until Lucas said, "What if Ava turns out like you?" I retorted, my voice shaking, "She won't. She's smart, capable, and working hard. She and Ethan are building something together." His father scoffed, "Ethan will take over our business, not start some side project." I fired back, "They've already incorporated." Just then, the door swung open. Mark's voice echoed through the room, "Sorry I'm late." The family's attitude changed instantly. They greeted him with smiles, "Mark, it's been too long." Mark ignored their pleasantries and asked, "Have you seen my wife?" They were surprised and echoed, "Your wife?" Mark spotted me and asked, "Why are you standing there?" I murmured, "They asked me to leave." Mark's face darkened. "Why would you ask my wife to leave?" he demanded. They stammered, "She's the bride's sister." Mark said coldly, "So, you insulted my wife and tried to humiliate her? That's how you treat family?" They stuttered, "We didn't mean it." Mark glared at them and said, "Then what did you mean?" After a long pause, he continued, "I do business with your company, but we're not family. Ethan is my friend, but I won't tolerate disrespect toward my wife. I'm ending our business relationship right now." Ethan's father cried, "Wait, you can't do that. Please reconsider." Mark firmly replied, "I won't. Don't worry, though. I'll be working with Ethan and Ava's new company. They've earned my trust." The family was shocked. They realized they had lost both their son's loyalty and a key business partner. Mark took my hand and said, "Let's go." The wedding went on without further problems. Ethan and Ava started their new life together, focusing on their business. Meanwhile, Ethan's family faced the consequences of their actions, and their company suffered. Life moved forward. One evening, I placed my hand on my belly, filled with a mix of excitement and nerves. When Mark came home, I greeted him with his favorite stew and a big smile. I said, "I've got news." I guided his hand to my stomach. His eyes brightened, and he hugged me gently. With a baby on the way, our family was growing. Though there would be challenges ahead, I knew we would face them together, building a loving home with hope for the future.